part of the Alliance Studios team. So shout out to Alliance. Thank you
Huge
for
shout
letting
out
us.
to Alliance. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you for letting us borrow her. Do you want to share any other words for Alliance while you're here, Enderbite?
There'll be plenty. There'll be
Okay.
plenty.
We'll save it. We'll save it for that. But yeah, so we're gonna kick it off, and I guess there's so much more I could say, but for you in your own words, Enderbite, please share with us kind of what your journey as a creator has been like so far, like how you got started, what you're doing lately, how it's all been.
So how far back do we really want to start?
As
Because I've
far
been
back as you.
creating like when I was
Yeah, hey,
small.
whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, so no, I began with building Legos. It was just like using Lego bricks and always just any work that I did, whether it's from, Lego to Minecraft to Fortnite, I would build something, but also want to include some kind of like mechanical function with it. And that's
Mm.
always just carried on with my work. So it started off with Legos and then Minecraft just like blew up and I went over to there and did that for quite some time. And then Fortnite came out, but it wasn't like creative. Like creative wasn't released,
Mm,
but
mhm.
eventually it did. And I was already in love with the game, so it just went on from there.
Cool. I love that you started in Legos. How exciting. Have you been able to check out Lego Fortnite much lately?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes. As soon as that
good.
started, I just hopped in and started experimenting,
Aw.
especially with the physics, because creative doesn't really have that to mess with, but Lego
Mm,
Fortnite
mhm.
does. And so you can do a
Nice.
lot of interesting stuff in there.
I was just playing this weekend and we were surviving with friends and it was an absolute blast. It's been so long since I achieved something with friends since I guess since BR and was running back and we were like, we made it. We survived. We did this together. So so I definitely it's cool to see how that's evolved and it's now part of this part of your story. So that's really neat. Did you have any other things? Oh, please go on about where you're at now and um kind of your focus lately.
Yeah. So Fortnite Creative, now UEFN,
Nice.
and now I'm also like beforehand, before I was part of Alliance, I was kind of like making my own stuff.
Yeah.
And then came onto Alliance and I got to work with, a lot of like brands and like go to a lot of like events and opportunities, which is amazing. And
Nice.
as of recently, I'm not exclusive anymore. So I'm actually working on my own stuff again, which I'll be like releasing some more stuff very shortly.
Cool.
I had Sidland that came out. That was a collaboration with the artist Gigi Labs, which was
Mm,
amazing. So
congrats. That's awesome. Ooh, so you're working on multiple things. That's super exciting.
yes.
Speaking of which, we do have a question that kind of popped up here while you were talking, which I think aligns with that. And do you have any tips for staying focused and not getting burned out on all these bigger projects?
So yes, but for my method doesn't work for everyone. Similar to
Fair.
squatting dog, this doesn't turn off like ever. So all day, I'm just constantly doing something, right? So whether it's during work hours, off of work hours, I'm trying to make the most of my time.
Mm,
And, obviously not everyone can actually do that. But the best way to kind of manage that is to do just different things. Let's
mm,
say you want to make a bunch of maps like in the span of a month. Don't focus on the same thing. Focus on very different things because then you'll be given different experiences. You'll learn more based on
mm,
the different things you're doing, and it'll be more exciting for you. And also set up those little goals that once you complete them, you just feel that huge rush of motivation. You want to just do even more.
mm, mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I can see how where you're saying, oh, it might not work for everyone because I can see some people being like, oh, that's so overwhelming, so many things. But I also understand it seems like the kind of burnout you're speaking of, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the burnout of like just having to focus on the same thing so much that you almost get like, oh, I'm so tired of working on the same topic or the same thing, and I'm feeling that burnout. But then diversifying the different creative focuses and stuff makes you feel better. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That's super cool. Yeah, I haven't heard that before, but I don't know. I feel like that might be the same for me too. Maybe it's like a left brain, right brain versus right brain kind of thing for us creatives people. So thank you. Well, okay, so again, feel free to put some questions, but we got a lot to get through today. And then Ender, while I'm asking you questions, was there anything in, I know we talked about you're going to build some stuff for us. What kind of is the plan while we're chatting? What are you
Yeah,
thinking
so
of
while
putting
we're
together?
chatting, I'm going to be working on a level design. And the plan is that there is no plan, but there is a plan, and it is that to have no plan. I don't know.
I
But
love that.
basically I'm gonna look at you guys, the chat right here. And you guys can just come up with any recommendations for themes, and I will
Ooh,
try and incorporate that into the scene that I'm building while I'm answering the
okay.
questions.
All
So
right. So you're going to be a multitasking queen today. Is that what we're on to?
yes, we're gonna
It's
try and do that.
Okay, all right. Well, if at any moment I'm absolutely impressed. If at any moment you need me to slow down on questions or anything, just let me know, or we can chat or whatever's good. But yeah, I guess let's do this. So you heard her chat. If you have any fun ideas while Enderbite here is building in the tool, let her know and she'll do her best to incorporate it. Please keep it family friendly and follow our guidelines. I just have to say that. But uh a chicken resort. All right. Well,
Okay, nothing crazy like that because I want to try and add as many ideas as I can. So a whole
too
like
crazy
resort based
cited. No,
on
I'm just kidding.
chickens might be
Okay,
might be a bit.
a chicken can exist. Oh, by the
A
way,
chicken.
someone's mentioning Krabby here. I
Oh
played
yes.
Krabby last night. Um, and it was absolutely haunting.
Yeah.
I
So
loved it.
Krabby is not currently a UEFN experience. So there
Hmm.
are limitations there. But we
Hmm.
did try our best. I made the map with 9 Ace and Crimtane. We tried
Hmm.
our best to really just bend the rules a bit. What you
Yeah,
normally see out of Fortnite creative
creative.
maps and just
Yeah.
do something different. And there'll be more to that too. But
Well, I love that. It's elusive and
yeah.
wonderful. Very cool. Okay. Well, let's see. So we've got, oh God, we have so many questions here. You kind of already answered this. What inspired you to start creating content and designing islands? Sounded like Legos was the first step there, and then it kind of evolved over time, just the act of building and creating things of your own, which is really cool. And then is there anything particular else you would like to add when it comes to what drew you to 3D modeling and building those kinds of things creatively in your career?
Yeah, it's kind of the same things, right? Because
Hmm.
like Lego is just a bunch of little pieces that you put together. And
Yeah.
then Minecraft is the blocks that you put together. And then Fortnite Creative had the props that you could kit bash together to kind of make models. And then eventually they came out with we had primitive shapes, and then that just like further helped me like develop those skills. And now we have UEFN where you can actually like bring models from Blender, which I use the most, into your experiences.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yes, we are looking at chat on YouTube and Twitch. Hi y'all. Hello, hello. We just have a lot of questions to go through, so forgive us if we don't respond to all of them. But the wonderful Flack and our moderators are in chat, so thank you so much. And it looks like we did get tagged on something on another question up here. What did it disappear? Oh no. I think it disappeared. There was one. But it's gone now. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so you're building something right now. We have a question that is very related to that, and that is, can you kind of verbally walk us through your creative process when you're designing a new island?
Yes, I'll give you tips too.
Cool.
I start off
Thank you.
with like a vague idea, and I also don't use references as much.
Okay.
References are very useful, so I'm not saying don't use them, but I personally don't use them just so I can kind of let my mind take me to just a different place, and then it
Mm,
just kind of shapes the environment into something unique that you don't really normally see. Um, but yeah, my process is I jump in, I have the idea, and it's already visualized in my
mm,
head. So I like
mm,
start blocking out and then like finding assets and then different ways I can use those assets just to help make a new environment, because all that just kind of helps immerse the player
mm,
into your
mhm.
world. And it also makes your map like stand out from like others.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, I love that you're talking about blocking it out. It's kind of like the rapid prototyping live stream that we had once where the first step was the blocking. And then I understand the saying, you know, using inspiration or not or visual inspiration. I find that when I use visual inspiration, I can also just start focusing on that doing that you know exact thing and it kind of blocks my creativity, so I definitely understand that a lot. It makes a lot of sense. But this is really cool just to watch.
And
This
I do want to give a
fireplace is
tip.
next
I
level.
do want to give
Oh,
a
go
tip.
ahead. Go ahead.
In terms of optimization, this is
Yes.
also a part of my process is I use a lot of the same assets as
Mhm.
much as I can. For example, I take this rock right here.
Mhm.
You can use the front side, you can tip it different ways, you can turn it around, the other side's different. You
Mhm.
can flip it over and get a little bit more of a like a jagged edge look. This one's a little bit
Mhm.
more flat end, and then you can also like resize it to kind of flip this pattern the other way. So you can literally
Yeah.
just use this one rock to make an environment that just doesn't have like any repeating patterns, and it just looks different and very cohesive.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Using what you have, especially in Fortnite Creative, right? Because you're given only so many types of, you know, prefabs and tools and things for that. So that's an awesome, awesome tip. Thank you so much. And then we have someone in chat said, "Love to kit bash a scene in detail light mode." Yeah, that definitely helps. Absolutely. Ooh, we have a question. TIE Fighters asking, when designing levels, do you gray block first? I see a lot of people do this, but I tend to just jump straight in.
Sometimes. In the editor, I'll jump straight in. But if
Nice.
I'm really going for like a specific level design, I will put like gray blocks down
Hmm.
occasionally. But
Hmm.
I like to get a sense of what the vibe is going to be right off the start.
That makes a lot of sense. And then someone was asking how long you've been a creator. What year did you start, Ender?
The beginning.
The very
So
beginning.
was
Okay,
that
that's what I thought.
2017 or 2018? It's like one of
I
those years that
I don't
creative
know why, but my
relates.
brain immediately went for 2015, but I could be wrong. It's probably
I don't see
2017.
it.
That's probably a different date because I'm so tired. But that's super cool. And then we had one other person was asking, how long does it take for you to finish an island typically? I know it probably depends on the project, but is there an average of time it usually takes so you can kind of have
Yeah,
a guess?
usually like 1 to 2 weeks, because
Nice.
like this is depressing. But this is all I do. Like all day, every day, I'm on Fortnite.
I love that. Why is that depressing? Don't you say that
I
about
don't
yourself,
know, cause
Enderbite.
I
That's
don't
so
know, maybe I
cool.
should get out
But
and
you
do
love
stuff.
it.
I
Well,
do.
that's
Yeah.
good. I'm glad you're doing what you love. Let's see. Okay, we've got some more questions. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Ooh, okay. While you're building this is another good one. What are some key elements you focus on to make your islands immersive for your audience?
I would say depth. Depth,
Mm.
yeah. Depth is a big one, because sometimes you see a lot of islands where it'll literally just be this, and then they'll put trees everywhere. But you can
Yeah.
take that to the next level by surrounding the player in like mountains, and then having like trees off in the distance. And then you could take like other trees, have like a canopy, and like
Mm.
resize it so it's really big. So you have like a roof above the player. And
Yeah.
then also just utilizing lighting, and then having the environment come like into play with the level design. So let's say you have like a tree or a log the player has to like crouch underneath, and it just helps a lot.
That's super cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Just like in real life, whenever we walk into like human made experiences, whether that's like an escape room or that's like, some kind of haunted house or something, the more that things are around you, right? It just really, really feels like you're part of
Yeah, I
it.
would
You're
I
in
would
it.
say theme parks definitely do
Yeah.
this the best because that's kind of the whole idea is you're trying to immerse the person into just a different world and take them out of reality.
Absolutely. I feel like the best example I've seen, because I've been to quite a few of them, it's, um, I don't know how many people actually have seen this part of the park, but there's Avatar is in I believe Animal Kingdom in Florida, and it has this floating like
Yeah, the
islands
floating
in the
islands of
air.
Pandora. Yeah.
Yes, and they when you're there, there is no wires you can see. There is nothing holding that in the air. I don't know how they do it. Must be tricks, of course, of vision and stuff, but absolutely a great example. And I think that's for islands too, just like you're saying, Ender, they also don't necessarily have to be, rooted in the ground. It can be stuff just floating above you that really makes you feel like you're there, really encapsulates that. So it's very cool. Hi, everyone. It's good to see so many friendly faces. I know we haven't really stopped to say hello to individuals, but I'm so glad you're here. Um, Trying to answer as many questions as we can. I know I see FNBR Valoo. I see Ben's Gaming. Welcome. Saw Directing Pete's here. Clever like. Radical
Welcome
Redhead.
everyone.
Hi, Eason. Oh, it's just gone because I wanted y'all to appreciate the purple to match with Ender. I was just going for the purple vibes. I didn't want to distract with my background. Um, but yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm really impressed. You're getting into the details here while we're chatting, and focused and just you're killing it. You're killing it, Ender. Um, let's see. Ooh, here's another good one. So we haven't talked a lot about gameplay mechanics. But and this might be I'm curious to hear your thoughts. You've worked in teams, you've worked alone. How do you balance creativity and gameplay mechanics when designing your islands?
I make sure that they work hand in hand together. So like any mechanics will make sense with the environment. Like it'll kind of complement the environment and the environment will
Mm.
complement the mechanic.
Mm.
So if I could come up with an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say the player needs to find a lever to open up a door.
Hmm.
You're not just gonna have the door be like a metal door or something that just completely looks out of place. You'd probably want to have like a rocky door if it's like in the forest or the woods.
Mm.
And then the lever, you can make it like a wooden lever. So you go over to it, you press it, and then the door will spread apart. And then you just add on to that to complement the mechanics even more. So like yeah, like VFX of like little pebbles or rocks falling down as it like
Mm.
disrupts the earth around it.
Awesome. No, that makes a lot of sense because I feel like that takes me out too when I'm playing in an island and the levers or the pieces, are like so contrasted in terms of the element or the style. It just doesn't align. And that takes you out of the immersion of it all, I think, or makes you at least feel like not uncanny valley, but like, like what forest is this with stainless
Yeah,
steel
well,
everywhere?
like what is this?
What's going on here? It's kind of almost like how Jurassic Park felt, where everything's metal, but
Oh
then
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
bunch of, which I mean, it makes sense. I guess zoos in general would probably feel that way. I'm on a tangent. Um, let's see. You've already shared some great tips with us, but could you share some tips for aspiring creators who really want to excel in level design with Fortnite Islands? You talked a bit about blocking out and kind of like, jumping in and just throwing things down and seeing how it feels, but are there any other tips you have in terms of level design that you think would help people who are newer and really wanting to take off?
Yeah, I would no, I would just go back to the idea of just throwing things down because you could like throw something down and be like it kind of becomes a part of that level design in a way. Like a really big one is shipping containers. A lot of
Mm,
people use shipping containers. It's because they're
mm.
like this divider that the player
Yeah.
can go around, or you have some where the player can kind of go through, and just throwing like easy stuff down like that
Mm,
can really help like gain an idea. And then also experimenting with layers. Like instead of
mhm.
having just a flat surface, you have like different heights and
Mhm.
depths, and then you kind of just you work from there.
Absolutely. I've heard of the shipping container thing too. It's definitely helpful. Oh, someone asked a great question. When it comes to feedback from your players, how has that worked for you so far, Ender? And has there been anything like any cool stories that have come from that where you've gotten really great feedback or feedback has made you kind of um innovate in some way or anything like that?
Definitely, yes.
Cool.
Feedback is huge. So like, someone comes up to you with like in the comments or something and gives you like one of those ideas, or just feedback on how to improve your game. I don't know how to really explain it, but if you have like your own like community or audience around like a map or something, just take that into mind. Because there's a lot of things that as a creator, you're probably gonna miss that
Mm.
your players are actually gonna pick up on pretty easily because different mindsets.
Yeah, absolutely. Um please stop spamming the chat. We would appreciate that. If um don't make me turn off all,
That's a
all the
lot of
emotes,
MOA
y'all.
heads.
Don't don't. Okay. Let's see. We got other questions. Someone's just asking how you're feeling today, Ender. How are we feeling today? We're feeling great.
Great. A little nervous, so I might stumble upon my words, but
Well,
we're
you're killing
trying.
it. Isn't Ender killing it today? I honestly, you've been extremely concise and helpful. I've already been able to like pull a bunch of great clips. So thank you so much for the awesome tips. Ooh, oh, here's a good one too in alignment with that question. When you do get feedback, Ender, how do you decide if it needs to be implemented or not?
Well, if it's bugs, you gotta implement that. You gotta make sure you're getting this fixed. But
Mm,
it can do a lot with like optimization of the map, or if it's like too much. But even then, you could look at that feedback and maybe take pieces of it and still apply that, so that
mm.
they're still getting something out of it.
Okay, awesome. And I mean, I'm just checking in on some things. So, walk us through kind of what you've done so far with this thing that you're building, Enderbite.
So, like I explained earlier with the different like levels,
Mm-hmm.
originally I had this on like a flat surface, but now I'm kind of raising it up more to show that okay, this is this is the fireplace. This is like a shrine of some sort. It helps give it that effect. You can do that a lot in different areas.
Cool. Um, Forgive me, I'm just doing a little technical stuff. Okay. Uh, we've got so many great questions in chat today. I really appreciate y'all's community. Because we have so many that we already had prepped. Um, uh, Forgive me for my slight pause here. Let's see. I want to make sure we get through all of our questions we have because we have so many good ones. Hi y'all. For those asking questions for me, this is about questions for Enderbite. This isn't questions for Epic. I'm the community manager, so I deal with community stuff, and we're doing community, programs and things like that. So please, if you've got questions about anything else, you make sure you're going to our forums and asking that directly there. It's where our devs lie and where our feedback is gathered. Any questions that have to do with stuff off topic is not going to be answered. We're not ignoring you. We can't answer those. So let's see. Speed building. We were going to talk about speed building, Enderbite. Which you're kind of doing right now
Yeah, which I'm
on that topic.
currently doing, yes. Um,
Um, it is a skill. Okay, so speed building, honestly, it requires both creativity and precision. Everything you're putting on here, you're making little tweaks, popping it in, adjusting. Um, how do you how did you develop these techniques? Was it just over time having to do stuff pretty quickly for like things that you signed on for, or did you just get really good at being
yes
fast?
and no. I did a lot of build battles, like build offs in the past with like different content creators. So you kind of just you have to learn it in a sense. So and then over time you kind of understand locations of different props and galleries and the names, and that all just like adds up in the end pretty much. And then again, like what I'm doing here, I've only really used like 3 or 4 assets while putting this environment together. And it looks different, right? Like each side looks different from the
Yeah.
next. And it takes away the having to look through and try and find like more assets. And then so once you get like the concept done with those assets that you brought in, then you just bring in the smaller details and kind of fill up the space to kind of make it
Oh, I love
all
that.
come together in the end.
Absolutely, and really flesh it out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the fun part. I really love, I don't know about you, but I really love the adding of the additional tiny details because that's what makes it feel so good and so immersive. And
Yes.
yeah, that's a fun part. Like all these little parts you're adding in here. I love how no pun intended, but I love how epic this fireplace is that you're building. Um uh Oh, forgive me. I'm doing so many things right now to keep this thing running. So let's see here. We've got more. We've got more. Oh yeah. What kind of challenges do you face when you're doing your speed builds? Is there any advice you have for overcoming those?
Yes. Like I mentioned, like finding like different assets can be difficult, but it's kind of like, let me see. If I just type in like wood or something here, and then I kind of find these like, okay, it's not the exact one I'm looking for, but I can still try and incorporate it into the build the best I can instead of just like wasting my time trying to figure out what that one prop is. And then at the same time that,
Fair.
helps you to learn again like how to use different assets in different ways throughout your
Mm-hmm.
environment.
Absolutely.
And in the end that helps with memory cost, which is a
Yeah.
huge thing.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, and you got to get creative with. I mean, with any tool, um, when it comes to as far as with technology in general, any of the tools that we use for technology for creation, um, I mean, since I started like I don't know, 15 years ago, utilizing certain tools, you always end up having to come up with creative ways to make things happen, that work with the current state of what we have for technology. So it's cool because it can feel so satisfying when you are able to achieve that and still, pull off something that was in your mind's eye that you really wanted to focus on and create. And then it's also so nice as things go on and we develop more tools and more features and things that makes it a lot easier. So, definitely a very difficult skill to try and, sharpen over time, but I admire that so much. Let's see. Okay, so well, we kind of already asked this one, so I'm gonna skip one of them. Um, are there any tools or software that you use specifically for your 3D modeling that you find particularly helpful for creating
Blender.
important?
Definitely
Okay.
Blender. That's like the easiest one to learn. Uh if you're someone coming at it like for the first time, it can seem a little overwhelming. But if you just like look at tutorials and mess with the tools, you start to get a pretty good understanding of how to use it. And that's
Cool.
all I really use for 3D modeling.
Yeah,
And then
I've always
sometimes the
wanted to
modeling
dabble.
tool in the editor itself.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've always wanted to dabble in Blender. I think one day I'm just gonna pull the trigger and go do it because it looks like it's so much
Yeah.
fun. How's everybody doing? Any features you're able to answer? If anybody has any questions, feel free and throw in here. Oh, here's a good question. With ADHD and a creative mind, I'd say it's a given, maybe. I perceive the environment around me in a very vivid way. Enderbite, is it the same for you?
Yes. Yes. That
Nice.
is, again, because this doesn't turn off. As soon as I get started, I can't help but have like the idea already form inside my mind. Uh, but for those who like don't really have that, it's good to kind of sketch out what you're trying to go for, like on paper, and then
Uh,
also like look for references.
yeah, absolutely. Ooh, sketching out. That's uh that's definitely a great one too. Oh my gosh, we have so many great questions here for you, Ender. What suggestions or tips do you have when lighting environments?
Lighting.
For examples like leading your players or atmospheric feel or general lighting tips. Okay, if you also don't
Um,
have an answer for that, because
I
I know
do,
it's a little
I do,
off our topic.
I do. Um, yeah. So it works very well when making puzzle games where the player has to kind of figure out what they're supposed to do and where to go. And with lighting, let's say you have a bunch of doors in one room, but you want the
Hmm.
player to go to a specific one. Um, ignoring like, pathing and like leading with assets, you can use lights to kind of indicate this is the door to go to, or this is what you need to collect. Then on top of that, add in like little effects to make it even more obvious.
Mm.
Um, it's usually the way to go. That's what I see in a lot of games.
Ooh, I saw it with your when I was playing Krabby, where you kind of added some VFX to the food for the crab.
Yes, yeah.
That helps so much because
And it
otherwise I
helps,
was just
yeah,
like,
it helps distinguish it from just all the other props that are there. So just having
yeah.
that, and it goes up like a little bit so you can kind of like see it behind things and be like, oh, it's over there.
Absolutely. Someone's asking if have you always created on PC or did you ever use console before when Creative first came
Oh
out?
yeah, no, huge console player back
Oh,
in the
nice.
day. Yeah.
That's very
So
cool.
yeah, and I still
Let's
use
see.
controller a lot. Um, Mainly when in live edit or
Mm,
just playing Fortnite in general. I've never
yeah.
tried to get used to the keyboard and mouse for that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's me with some specific games. Even if they're on PC, I'll plug in my controller and I'm like, no, this is just the easier way. Just the easier way. Uh, Thanks so much for all the great questions, community. Y'all are being awesome. Sahil, Ender said it takes her around 1 to 2 weeks to create an island earlier. Um, let's see. Yeah, so probably around a week, and I answered Drake. Not gonna say that whole name. Drink. It's it takes about a week, I think. Not just answering on behalf of Enderbite. We just answered that. Let's see. Someone's been asking if you have any other experience modding any other Unreal Engine titles or using UE
Modding.
itself. Yeah.
None. Zero. I
Nice.
don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
This is all Fortnite creative and UEFN learnt.
Yes.
That's a word. It's a doorway. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking more about lighting. Okay, cool. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here's a great one from Pugmaster157. They said, "Oh no, you're good, Drakes. You're good. You're good. It's okay to ask the same question. I know it's a live stream, so you're all are going to be trickling in." Pugmaster157 is asking Ender, "What's your biggest inspiration?"
My biggest inspiration. Hmm. When it comes to my own work, I like a lot of horror. I like a lot of mascot horror. So like, you have 5 minutes of phrase, poppy playtime. And so I would say that's what inspired a lot of my level design. Kinda. A little bit. Most of my
Okay.
inspiration just comes from motivation and just like environments I've been to. I've done like a lot of camping in the past, so when it does come to like woods and forests and stuff, I kind of understand how those come together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that's pretty much. Oh, and Fortnite again also brings a lot of inspiration. Like if they release like a new chapter comes out and they have like this whole theme, I just get wrapped into it.
I
It's
love
usually
that.
whatever's going on in the media, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, um we have some people joking in chat, but I will say, yeah, I mean, if you want to be successful, jumping on trends that aren't even happening necessarily in the industry, right? Like seeing what's trending with a group of people, seeing what's trending with the group of, people that you're trying to appeal to with your content. Like, what is a big thing that's popping out? We see those all the time. Or you'll see like fun, like with fun ones that people are doing with chair, or I remember when there was an island of a chip, a spinning chip, or like, it is
Oh yeah.
silly to an extent. It's obviously very minimalistic, but they're also like, hey, what would someone click on? That's interesting. And something creative that you can test out new tools with. So like um the chair device, like what's a fun, way to implement that and things like that as they come out, and that also aligns with what's trending. I mean, that works. It
I
absolutely
think to
does.
add to that,
Yeah.
after you said that, is just a lot of the games I've played like in the past, I try to see how can I kind of make that in Fortnite when there's restrictions to that. And that was a lot of my inspiration, I would say.
Yeah. Hmm. That's great to
And
share.
that's
And
what
then
also helps kind of train having that kind of mindset where it's like, I'm gonna use this, not how it's intended at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Some of the coolest stuff comes from there. And like that's with any tool too, especially as it's evolving. Oh, here's a good question as well. How hard is it to learn UEFN as a beginner who has never used a game design tool like that? I guess that's kind of hard because you kind of evolved from Fortnite Creative Ender, but
Yeah.
have you heard anything about that, or do you have any thoughts on that?
I would say in terms of the editor, because that was the challenge that I had to kind of overcome, is
Mm,
just experimenting and learning from your peers.
mm.
And then there's also like really good tutorials out there too that like so many other creators have put together. So definitely go check those out.
Oh, great call out. Thank you so much. Drake's asking how much computer specs do you need to start? So Drake, I would imagine the best thing to do would be like check out what UEFN requires, what those requirements are, for those specs, and then kind of go from there. That's what I did when I last got a PC for stuff. So that should definitely help. Should be on the website. Um, let's see. Dun dun dun. Okay, yeah, we're getting into more technical, but I want to make sure we also get all the questions that were submitted. Uh, here's a fun one. Okay, can you share a memorable experience or moment from one of your favorite Fortnite Island creations?
Yes. So it has to be emergency calling. It was like 5 minutes of phrase map I made along with Tact.
Mm,
And I don't know how many of you guys know who this is, but there's a YouTuber who goes by the name Dawko, and he's like
mm,
the FNAF YouTuber. And
mm,
FNAF's like 5 minutes of phrase, but like condensed.
mm-hmm.
And he made a video on it and called it like the best like FNAF map in Fortnite. And like when we saw that, we were like, that was our goal. Like we wanted to try because we saw him starting to play Fortnite games. So we are like, okay, we want to try and get into there, and but also kind of do the fandom justice in that sense. So we had our own story and all that. So just a combination of everything there just felt like an accomplishment for us. And just seeing them like enjoy it and then seeing a lot of other people playing the map and enjoying it was just it felt really good.
Yeah, and it's a community that you're really passionate about, so I'm sure that was really nice to be able to connect with more people there, huh? Let's see. We talked a little bit about this. How do you engage with your player community during your creation process? Um, is there anything in particular you do outside of course, gathering feedback, or is there any other information you have on the best way to gather feedback from the audience, things like that?
I'd say just ask, you know, just like maybe do like okay, the best way is to kind of stream it. Assuming you can, you have the audience for it,
Oh, okay,
you
gotcha.
can
Yeah.
get people in the map, who haven't played it yet, and they can kind of give their feedback based off of that. But I would say, yeah, that's probably the best way I can think of. Other than that, just like uploading to YouTube and just collecting what people are saying and just keeping all that in mind.
Yeah, I noticed that I know others do this too, but you also have walkthroughs on your YouTube, which was really helpful for me. Because I get stuck with puzzles and things like that sometimes, so I
Oh yeah,
really
no,
appreciated
that's
that.
that's a really good thing to have. But not only so that, people can, walk through it, but also because it can help draw attention to your YouTube channel. Because let's say you make a map that is a little difficult and you might need help from a YouTube video. You're gonna funnel people from that map to your channel, and then your channel contains more of that content that you make. So definitely recommend it if you're making an escape map or anything that require that kind of thought. Definitely make a video on it because you never know, it could do very well, and then kind of help kickstart that process of people playing your islands and enjoying them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great call out. Let me check. I'm checking in chat here. Ooh, here's a good one from Maniacs. How much time did you spend on your largest project ever?
A year, a year,
A
yeah,
year. Wow.
but mainly because there's a little bit of a hiatus in between, so I don't know if that counts.
I mean, I think that's fair. If you nix the hiatus, how long would you say?
I don't know. I half a year then, or actually a little bit more than half a year. So 7 to 8 months, and that
Okay.
was Sidland that I was working on with Gigi, because I don't know, it was just a lot of optimization, and then that map was started in Fortnite Creative, and then UEFN came around, so you could add more
Mhm.
to it, and then also optimize it more. So,
Yeah.
and then also just making it like the best for her community. So,
Nice.
yeah,
Oh, look at what Tat shared. How cute. Free building during streams like this is what I made in 10 minutes. The mega couch.
the mega
That
cast is
that
amazing.
is giving mega couch vibes. Newbie's asking, what has your experience been learning verse? Was it hard to learn, etc.?
I just started, so I only know event binding. That's it. Um, I would say learning what I learned, it's easy, but when you get into more complex stuff that you can't really do with devices, it's I don't know, I can't really speak on how difficult that is. But I know Warforged definitely has a lot of really good tutorials on his YouTube.
Mm,
So definitely go check that out. 'Cause I don't
shout
really
out.
know much of verse, to be honest, to kind of answer that the best. So
No, that's good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And
yeah.
that is totally okay. I mean, there are definitely things that you can build. You've got creative. There's so many things you can use to create in Fortnite without Verse. And Verse, the truth about Verse is it is coding. And if you haven't used any coding before, you have to learn to code.
And
Like it is
math.
a big
It's
deal.
it's a lot
And
of
math.
math, and I'm not a math person.
I am also not a math person, so I would be curious how I would fare with it. So if you ever feel overwhelmed or you're like, oh, I'm running into difficulties with it, or it's been, a little stressful, it is coding. So pat yourself on the back for getting anything done when it comes to coding, because coding is a big deal, and it's a reason that, it's such a, popular role in tech and a difficult role. So kudos to all y'all out there who are making it happen. But if you do need any help with verse and coding or anything, thank you, Flack. You can check out our snippets section on EDC. And then, yeah, if there's any snippets you're looking for or anything, you can always put stuff on our forums and, let us know. Our team is definitely listening on the forums for that kind of stuff to see if they can help. Uh, oh, Lucha Libre. This is a good one. Yeah, based on, I guess, on the roadmap that you've seen, Enderbite, is there anything you're looking forward to that's coming to Creative and UFN?
Oh, I would have to look at the roadmap again.
You're getting so many questions. You're so popular.
I would
I love
definitely
that for
have
you.
to look at the roadmap again. But there is something that I do want
Yeah.
that I know isn't on the roadmap. But imagine if you could animate the player reference device. So that way you
Whoa.
can kind of animate players, kind of like imposters. They have like
Yeah.
player animations and Fortnite Festival. I think that would be so cool. So
We
maybe
definitely got that request. So I
like a
have logged
feature.
that feedback, just so you know.
Yes.
It is in there.
Yes.
And
That
the
would
animation team is keen. They're like, oh, that's great feedback. But that's all I could say. But yeah, no, that would be really cool. Oh, here's a good one from Pugmaster. What map of yours was the hardest to make? UFN or not? Could be creative, could be UFN.
Ooh, okay. I have two. I have two of them.
Ooh,
So one
spicy.
of them was a murder mystery. It was called Fairground Frights. And
Mm,
I worked on the mechanics with EJ, who's super freaking talented. He's so good. And that was that was difficult. Like murder mystery back then, it was hard. It was really hard. And it was like during
yeah.
the Among Us craze. So yeah, and then the
Yep.
second one is Demogorgon Rush. And that
Mm-hmm.
was I always try to like make different game modes, which it's a blessing and a cursing in a sense. Cause
Mm,
you're trying to do things that the tools aren't really built to do. And so you kind
mm,
of gotta bend it around a little bit and kind of figure out loopholes in order to make that work. And that
yeah.
was that was mostly in Fortnite Creative and not
Mm,
really UEFN. So yeah. And then at the
absolutely.
same time, it's a lot of mechanics for a map that's also just stuff everywhere. Like
Mm,
the memory is skyrocketing. So
mm.
you gotta try and yeah. It's a doozy.
Absolutely. Drake's asking, I'm a mobile developer and I want to learn UFN. Any tips, guide, good sources to learn? First off, we will say this is in Twitch. First, I'll say we have this wonderful site called Epic Developer Community. And if you go there, there's a whole documentation section. There's even a new to Fortnite Creative and Fortnite Development section. So feel free, Drake, go to our website there. Epic Developer Community should pop up on Google. And then you can click on getting started. And there's tons of tips. There's creative and UFN. Thank you, Flack. Creative and UFN. So that should work perfect. Someone's asking, um, how long have you both been working with games? How long both of you? I have been working in games since 2015. So
Working.
on 9 years. How long I guess how long have you been working in games under? Is it when creative started or did you dabble before that at all?
Yeah, well, Minecraft, but
Oh
is
yeah,
that
yeah,
considered working? I wasn't making anything off of that, you know?
That's fair.
It was more
You were
all complete
in
hobby
games.
and passion.
Yeah. Oh, well, that
Yeah,
that counts as your
Minecraft.
origin
Yes.
for sure.
And it's the origin for my name too. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have like really good origins for their names. Mine is just Enderbite because Minecraft.
Really? Okay.
It's just
No,
it's
I
just
love it.
that, you know?
It's a good one. It's a good one. Uh, ooh. Oh, good question. God, we've got so many good ones. Does it affect you? Or I guess I'd rather ask, how does it affect you when you've spent a lot of time on an island for it not to go the way you wanted it to? Do you usually push through and get it to a point where you like it, Ender, or have you ever had to scrap something?
I I actually don't. I wouldn't say I have the best mindset because if it doesn't go well, I just brush it off and I just make another one. It's like
Just like,
if I can't like improve upon
yeah.
it, then I'm just gonna improve upon another map and just make something else. I think
Someone,
maybe
oh, go
that's
ahead.
a maybe that's a good thing because you don't
Yeah.
let that get to you. You know, you
You're
don't be
just
like,
letting it
"Oh,
roll.
I'm a
Yeah.
failure." No, you just be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna make the next one better."
Absolutely. And then someone also asked if you've ever made an island that was just purely aesthetic, just for the beauty of the island. Have you done anything like that?
Plenty of times, yes.
Oh, cool.
'Cause I did a lot of, like, modeling with primitive shapes. I, like, kit bash them together.
Oh, yeah.
So, I would have, like, islands of those models. So, like, Toon Meowscles or, like, Rick and Morty. So, yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
then, like, have, like, an environment around them. That makes sense.
Absolutely. I love that. That must be really fun. Aesthetic maps are fun to make. I would imagine, depending, yeah, it could be one of the most fun parts, absolutely, especially for us creatives. Let's see here. Ooh. Oh, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Perfect timing. Mm. What are your thoughts on the future of user-generated content within Fortnite? How do you see yourself evolving as a creator in the space?
I wanna get it to a point where it's kinda like Roblox, you know? Like, these, like, games are creating a life of their own. And they're like, I don't know if this is gonna sound ridiculous, but there's some like Roblox games that actually have like toys, like merchandise manufactured of them.
Hmm.
And I feel like Fortnite will get to that point where these creators, different creators, will have experiences that take off and will have a life of their own. And I kind of want to be looped in with that. And then Krabby is my goal for that.
Yeah, I
So
mean, if a brand gets big enough, if you have a brand and you have an icon or I mean, and definitely nothing stopping creators when they do have something like that from, you know, I mean, that's what we did when I was in indie games is just finding some kind of supplier, making plushies, doing things like that.
yeah. And then
Just
also to add on to that, because Fortnite, they have like these icon skins and all that. I think it would be so cool if, if let's say that does happen with creators maps, that they can actually have their own cosmetics that have to do with like characters and whatnot of their creations. I think that would be so cool and a huge step for creative. I feel like that
I mean,
has
the
to
sky's
happen.
the
It might
limit.
happen. We'll
The
see.
sky's the limit with stuff in this kind of space, right? With user generated content. It just like when the demand is there, we'll see that vision is it is a beautiful vision though. I'll definitely say. Let's see, we're getting down to the end here. Forgive me if I miss any of your questions, but I want to make sure we cover the ones that were submitted here. Are there any particular themes or concepts you haven't explored yet in your creations, but you would like to in the future?
Oh, plenty. Yeah, plenty. I would say I haven't really worked in steampunk or like Victorian stuff, and I don't do a whole lot of architecture, so I want to get a little bit better at that and putting those environments together. I'm really good
Mm,
with nature, which is why I'm kind of doing
mm.
this. And
It's organic, yeah.
yeah, and then I've been getting better at interiors as well. So kind of just I will get to that. It's gonna happen. I don't know
Yeah.
when, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, that's cool. So you want to focus on more structure in terms of design and
yeah, and
aesthetics in the
also just the
future?
fact that I like to mix and match different themes to kind of
Mm,
create a thing of their own,
yeah.
I guess.
I love that.
instead of
Absolutely.
just sticking to one.
I mean, that's what makes the most impactful universes in the gaming space, right? The ones we think of when
Yes.
we think of like, yeah, like what immersive universes do we love out there in gaming, right, chat? Right under like when we think about those, they're usually some kind of, beautiful mix. Like we have someone in here talking about steampunk theme. Yeah, like a great one that comes to mind for me is a BioShock, right? Underwater and steampunk
Yeah.
and a vintage, which is like really, like the 50s or like that kind of a thing. It's just so iconic when it's a mix and a mash for sure. Or like the new game Stray. That one's interesting. It's like punk, like kind of like cyberpunky, but also there is nature mixed in and AI and I don't know. Underwater anything is awesome. I'm curious if has anyone made, I don't think we have yet, but I guess I've seen some where you kind of like do sort of underwater vibes within Fortnite Islands. The best we can to make it immersive and feel that way. But yeah, I imagine that has to be so hard to build. Flack bought a stray backpack. You did? Oh, I saw that. Let me know if it's
Oh,
great.
that's
You have it?
amazing.
You got it already? Oh, that's so great.
Let's go.
Um Absolutely. Ooh, NASA punk. There's a new theme called NASA punk. Oh, is that
NASA
like
punk.
space steampunk? I hope so.
That's kind of
Um,
cool, actually.
that is. There's an Atlantis versus zombies. What? Atlantis and I mean,
And that's the type
that's
of
kind of
stuff that like
BioShock.
that's the type of stuff I definitely encourage people to do because
Mm,
you could go on Discovery and you'll see a lot of like the same stuff.
yeah.
But if you do that, like NASA, I would have never thought of like space and theme punk together. It
Yeah.
creates like new stories and just new environments, and it'll just like set your island apart from any other one. So
Wait, that reminds me. You know what did that once, Enderbite? I want to say, oh my gosh, what is the name of it? Not Treasure Island. The Disney one, uh, in space with pirates and steampunk. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Oh no. Was it called Treasure Island? Ah, it's the one with uh, what's his name? I'm not helping. That is a great movie. And Tiny is the other one that came out at the same time. But they always love to do that. But there was one with I can't remember his name right now. Hello, what are you talking about? Hello. You are joining us at the very end of our stream. So we've talked about everything, but you can always check it out on YouTube, in the VOD or Twitch, Fortnite Create. All right, let's see. Collaboration can often lead. Yeah. I guess we got one last question here. And then I would love you to just kind of give us one more show of what you've created under Byte and kind of an overview of how you're feeling about it and any other things that have kind of come up in your mind while you're building this, what the vibes were. Um, but you've collaborated a bit. You've worked on teams and worked with other people. Collaboration can often lead to innovative creations because you're, getting a bunch of different people together with different mindsets and skills. Um, when you've collaborated with other creators in the community, what was that experience like? What is it like working with others with like different skills and backgrounds and knowledge and um, preferences and things like that?
I think my favorite part of that is how much you can learn from other people,
Hmm.
and what they do. And then being able to, take what you learned and be able to apply that to your own stuff as well. And just like
Mm.
everyone has their own like style and just like operating within that is just it's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's highly recommend. And if I hear, but and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But when it comes to collaborating, is it typically like platforms like Twitter and X that help the most for you to meet new people, or Discord, or what do you recommend with um finding people with matching skill sets that could complement what your skill sets are?
This is gonna sound surprising, but if you're trying to find someone that you're hoping to collaborate with, Reddit Reddit is actually a good area because there's a lot of people posting stuff there, and they don't have like super big platforms, so it's easy to kind of reach out to them and be like, "Yo, we should collab," you know?
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and that's kind of how I started off a little bit too. People would, like, reach out to me while I was like starting to make stuff and put it up there, and then we'd work together, and then I met like the people I know today based off of the butterfly effect from that. So yeah, and then people here in the creative Discord too.
Hmm.
So
It's really cool that you say Reddit, and it makes sense though because I feel like a lot of the tips we get are from people who are pretty established or have a pretty solid following, or people know of them already, so they're like, "Oh, just reach out, and here's how to reach out to people that are, you're trying to connect with and maybe cross the streams of like your two communities together." But if you're super super new and you maybe aren't super on social media, Reddit would be a great place because people are always showcasing the things that they're making over there. And you can see, and usually that's the one channel from what I've seen. It's like the one channel that that community is on, like they're passionate about Reddit. So if you see someone on there, but you're typically on other platforms looking, but you go to Reddit and they're showcasing something and they're innovating, and it's something that you think would be cool to work on, and maybe, that could start up some really great conversations for collaboration. That would be super neat. Use the Reddit ducks. That's how I found out this Discord. It's fair. I mean, we try to make all the platforms helpful in their own ways individually, so that, but also inclusive, so they, at least cover all the basics for everyone. So, um, but yeah, well, that's all the questions that we had, and we're a little over time, so I think that's perfect. So, Ender, if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to hear a little bit about your creation here and, the overall vibes and how you're feeling about it, what
yeah,
you were
so
going for.
obviously an hour, right? And also going
Yeah,
into
one
it
hour.
with
Dang,
no plan. So
it's
at the
chickens.
beginning you mentioned like just not having a fireplace. So I was like, okay, we're gonna put one down and we're gonna try and do something with it. And
Yeah,
so I decided to go for like this ancient shrine where it's like maybe this was like worshipped or something, and they would hold
it's fire. Yeah,
firesides up here long ago.
yeah,
And I'll kind of explain a little bit of my vision here.
sure.
But just an example of level design, have the path that kind of leads up to this taller part. And then when we talk about depth, we have these areas back here with trees instead of just like cutting it off at that part. And
Yeah.
then also surrounding the area with like some ruins here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
also using rocks to kind of cut into that landscape to kind of, you don't want it to be flat. So
Yeah.
having areas where it's more natural, it comes through, can also help create like, okay, you go around, you turn the corner, and maybe there's like a chest there or something. And yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty much
if I came across this, I'd want to set up camp here. Absolutely. I saw someone mentioning it.
yeah.
It's very cool. This is crazy. 1 hour? That's awesome. Well, Ender, if you do happen to feel it's in a good place and you want to shoot me like a looping video of your fireplace, I would absolutely love to feature it on our future fireside chats as well with the others that we loop. So,
I might try to
um
make it look a lot more aesthetic.
well, no pressure, no pressure, but we would absolutely love to integrate it into our rounds of fireplaces we have so far. It's very cool.
Definitely. Yeah.
We would love that. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, everyone on
Thank
Twitch,
you,
YouTube,
everyone.
Discord. Yes, thank you, Enderbite, for being here. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you had a great time. I know I did. Um, and it seems like chat really did. And this is the most questions we've ever gotten in multiple chats for a guest. So thank you all for being engaged. Thank you for coming with great questions. Thank you for being thoughtful. And yeah, I guess that's it. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to throw out there, Enderbite? Any
Yeah,
teases for your
something you
upcoming
guys
content?
might have
Oh,
noticed
oh, oh,
is my editor is not black and gray. It's more
yeah.
like the creative UI and like inventory.
Yeah.
And if you want to like adjust the colors of your editor, I can try to remember. I think it's in here. Right here with appearance. You can make your own appearance. And if you
Ooh,
want, you can hit me up in DMs. I believe I can actually send you this one if you want to use it yourself. So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it's
I do have a
definitely
map
like,
that should be launching next week, and that will be my first like my own map that's like separate from Alliance for a
yeah.
while. So, and then I hope to kind of less release something every month and maybe even
Ooh,
more. So, there's a lot
well, that's
planned.
exciting.
A lot planned.
Well, we'll keep an eye out. And where can everyone find you, Enderbite, on the different websites?
It's just Enderbite on everything. It's
Perfect.
easy.
It's that's a great tip there. Make sure it's easy to find you on everything.
Yes.
If you're, especially if you're looking for feedback from your community and stuff, absolutely.
If you can, of course. Like sometimes names are taken. Like ironically, one of the only places I'm not just Enderbite is
Yeah.
Fortnite itself. It's Enderbite FN. And I try like every now and then I try and get the name, but it's just
Oh no,
it's
no.
taken, so
I know that. I know those feels. That's my Instagram too. Well, thank you all for showing up, for coming by to say hi, for hanging out with us. If
thank you
how many people
everyone.
are how many people were here for the first time? It seems like I've seen a lot of new faces here. Definitely tried and true people that show up every time, but I've seen a few people that are like, "Oh, it's my first fireside and stuff." Me, hi. Oh, great. Lots of new folks. Well, thank you so much. And then we got some returners. Mine and Nick's third fireside. I know Clever Like's been here a lot. Appreciate, wow, a lot of first timers. Well, thank you. Well, if you know anyone or if you're interested in being one of our guests for Fireside, we can do technical ones like this. We also have our monthly live stream where sometimes we're looking for guests to talk about certain things or things that you're passionate about. We would love to have you there. And then for these, we do both the technical ones and just the casual chats where we can just talk about, almost like a podcast about things, but we try to answer a lot of questions. We want it to be mainly helpful. So we hope that you learned something here today. I definitely did. So I feel like a decent amount of people probably did too, because I do these so often, and you had so much unique information this time too, Enderbite. So thank you so much. But yeah, I guess that's it. Well, thank you all so much. Ender, any last words to the audience before we dip out?
Thank you guys so much for joining up and bearing with me.
Nah, you crushed it. You killed it. It was awesome.
It's good.
I still can't believe you built that in an hour and answered all my questions.
Yeah, I did pause every now and then, but
You know what? Natural pauses are a good thing. It's good to have that. So don't feel she's built different. That's right.
built different.
Ender is built different. That's awesome. I definitely could not have done that. So major kudos. Well, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We have our next live stream next week on Wednesday, and it's going to be with the team Look North World, and they're going to be showing a lot of their design process, their design documents, how they made innovations in each of their islands, like step by step. So definitely check that out. I'll be back. That won't be in Discord, but it will be on our Twitch and our YouTube, so you can check us out there. And if you want to rewatch any of this stream, or if you want to share this stream with anyone, we do have a VOD on YouTube, and we're on Fortnite Create on YouTube spelled out. You can find us there, and the VOD will be there under our fireside chats. And feel free to share and spread some love for Enderbite here. And yeah, we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks again so much. Bye, everybody. See you later. Bye.